You will never become who you're meant to be if you keep holding on to who you used to be. Letting go is hard, but staying stuck in the same place hurts more. Change doesn't wait for the perfect moment. You have to decide you're done being the old you even when you're scared and unsure. Rebuilding alone isn't weakness. It's the deepest kind of strength because it means you're taking full control of your own life. Today we will talk about why destroying the old version of yourself might be the most powerful thing you ever do. Most people stay trapped in patterns that keep them small because they're afraid of starting over alone. But the truth is, healing, rebuilding, and growing usually begins when you finally choose to break away from everything that no longer serves you. It's about standing up for yourself, by yourself. No shortcuts, no crowd, just raw truth and real effort. If you're ready to stop pretending everything's fine and start building the life you truly want, then let's dive in. Number 1, let go of old habits that no longer serve you. There comes a time when you realize something isn't right anymore. You wake up, and even though the world keeps spinning, you feel stuck. Same routine, same frustration, same outcome. You're not moving forward, you're just repeating yesterday. And it's wearing you down. It's subtle at first. You tell yourself you're just tired, or maybe life is just stressful. But deep down, you know it's not life, it's you. The way you've been doing things, it's not working anymore. It's not helping you grow, it's holding you in place. The truth is hard, but it's also freeing. The version of you that brought you here can't take you any further. The things you do every day, the habits you've let sit comfortably in your life, they're either pushing you forward or pulling you back. And many people carry habits that do nothing but delay their progress. You don't notice them when they first show up. Maybe it's putting things off when they feel hard. Maybe it's telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow more times than you can count. Maybe it's turning to distractions instead of facing problems. These habits slip in quietly and stay for years. You think they're part of your personality, but they're not. They're just patterns you've allowed to take root. And if you don't challenge them, they'll stay. There's no easy way to say it. If you want to become someone better, someone stronger, someone free, you have to stop doing the things that keep you weak. You have to stop protecting your old routines. Change doesn't happen with comfort. It happens when you get uncomfortable. When you look at your life and say, this habit, this pattern, it's not serving me anymore. That takes honesty. That takes courage. But it's necessary. You can't build a new life with the same choices that built the old one. Now, it's not about blaming yourself. It's not about guilt. It's about awareness. Once you see it, you can change it. Maybe you've spent years sleeping in too late, wasting the morning. Or maybe every time life got hard, you turned to excuses. Maybe you kept people around you who encouraged the easy path because they feared your growth. You kept watching that show when you should have been learning. You kept eating junk when your body was crying for energy. You kept avoiding that uncomfortable conversation when you knew it was the key to healing. None of these habits are helping you anymore. They're chains, and the longer you carry them, the heavier they become. Here's the hard part: letting go feels like loss. It feels like you're giving up something, and in a way you are. You're giving up familiarity. You're giving up the small comfort of routine. You're giving up the excuse that this is just who I am. But what you're gaining is far more valuable. You're gaining a shot at something real. You're gaining the chance to feel alive again, to look in the mirror and feel proud instead of numb, to feel like you're not wasting your time here on earth. Change doesn't need to start with a big decision. It starts small, but it starts with honesty. Ask yourself, what's one habit I keep doing that I know is slowing me down? Write it down. Call it out. Look it in the face. That's where real growth begins. With the truth. Once you name it, you take away its power. You're not pretending anymore. You're awake. And from there, you build new habits in its place. But you can't skip the part where you break the old ones. Look around your life. What's cluttering your time? What are you doing every day that leaves you feeling worse, not better? Maybe it's too much social media. Maybe it's the way you talk to yourself. Maybe it's the people you keep entertaining even though they drain you. Maybe it's how often you put yourself last. Whatever it is, stop ignoring it. Start stripping it away. This takes discipline. You'll have to do it even when it's hard. Even when no one else is watching. You'll have to go through withdrawals from your own bad habits. That's part of it. But every time you choose something better, every time you wake up and decide to move different, you gain momentum. You start to believe again. You begin to respect yourself again. That's when confidence returns. Not because someone gave it to you, but because you earned it. People think they need motivation to change, but they don't. They need decision. They need to say, enough, and they need to mean it. Motivation shows up later. After you start making better choices, after you feel the difference. After you go a few days without wasting your time and you feel your strength coming back. That's when motivation shows up. But it doesn't come first. You don't need to change everything at once. That's overwhelming. Just pick one habit, just one. Change how you start your morning. Change what you say to yourself when you mess up. Change how you respond when you feel stressed. One shift at a time. If you keep doing that, those small changes compound. And before you know it, you've shed a version of yourself that was only meant to get you to this point. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You've just been on autopilot. And now it's time to take the wheel. You don't need permission. You don't need someone else to believe in you first. You need to believe that your life is worth improving, that your time matters, that you're not meant to repeat the same mistakes year after year. You're meant to grow. Destroying the old you isn't about anger. It's about maturity. It's about saying, this version of me made it this far, but now I need more. And to get more, you have to become more. You do that by letting go. You do that by walking away from what no longer helps you. It'll be uncomfortable, it'll be lonely, but it will also be worth it. The new version of you is waiting on the other side of your habits. Not your wishes, not your dreams, your habits. Change them and you change your life. Don't wait. You already know what needs to go. Start now, because the longer you carry what no longer serves you, the further you drift from the person you're meant to be. Number 2, face your fears and break free from limitations. Most people are stuck, not because they aren't capable, but because they're scared. Scared of failure. Scared of what others will think. Scared of not being good enough. They talk about goals, they dream about change, but when it's time to take action, fear tightens its grip. And instead of moving forward, they stay in the same place, year after year. They play small, not because they want to, but because fear whispers lies in their ear, and they believe it. You know the feeling, that hesitation when you're about to speak up, but something inside tells you to stay quiet. That rush of nerves when you consider trying something new, and then suddenly talk yourself out of it. You convince yourself it's not the right time, or you're not ready yet. But here's the truth. Fear doesn't go away by waiting. It doesn't shrink with time. It grows. Every time you avoid it, it gets louder. Every time you run from it, it takes more control. There are things you want to do, things you've thought about for years. Maybe it's starting over. Maybe it's standing up for yourself. Maybe it's chasing something you've been putting off. But every time you get close, you feel that fear, the pressure in your chest, the doubts in your mind. And so you back off. You tell yourself it's just being smart, being cautious. But deep down, you know it's fear, and it's keeping you small. Facing fear doesn't mean you won't feel it. It means you stop letting it lead. You stop letting it make your decisions. Because fear doesn't want your progress, it wants your comfort. And comfort is the enemy of change. If you want something better for your life, you're going to have to face what you've been avoiding. You're going to have to walk into situations that make your heart race and your hands sweat. That's the cost of growth. That's how confidence is built. Your limitations aren't always real. Most of them are mental. Built from past failures, from criticism, from the voice in your head that says, you can't. That voice was never yours to begin with. It came from outside. From people who gave up on themselves and passed that fear to you. But you don't have to keep carrying it. You don't have to keep living under limits someone else wrote for you. You've been told to stay in your lane, to not want too much, to not take up too much space, but all of that is noise. You're not here to shrink. You're here to expand. You're here to see what's possible when you stop giving fear the final say. Yes, fear will come with you, but it doesn't get to drive. You take the wheel now. Think about what fear has cost you. Opportunities missed, relationships broken, time wasted. Now think about what you could have gained if you had acted differently. It's a painful thought, but it's also powerful. Because you can decide that it ends here. You can draw a line in the sand and say, I'm not living like this anymore. That's how people change. Not when they feel ready, but when they get tired of being stuck. You don't overcome fear by talking about it. You overcome it by doing the thing you're afraid of. Step into the room. Start the project. Speak your truth. Take the first uncomfortable action. Don't wait for the fear to leave. Move with it. That's how you take back your power. That's how you prove to yourself that fear is not the wall, it's the test. And once you pass it, everything opens up. When you face fear, something shifts inside. You stop being a victim of your thoughts. You stop playing defense with your life. You go on offense. You start to believe in your ability to handle whatever comes. And that belief, that's what unlocks new levels, new strength, new peace. Not because the world gets easier, but because you get stronger. There's something you need to hear clearly. Nothing will change until you face what scares you. You can read all the books, watch all the videos, but if you don't take real action, fear wins. Growth happens in real life, in real choices. In that moment when you're shaking but you show up anyway, that's where transformation happens. You can't break free by staying comfortable. You break free by challenging your old story, the one that says, this is just how I am. That story is outdated. It's a lie. You're not the same person you were a year ago or 5 years ago. You're smarter now. You've seen more. You've felt more. And now it's time to live differently. You don't need to keep hiding. You don't need to keep explaining. You just need to act. Start small. Pick one fear. Face it today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today, maybe it's a conversation, maybe it's a decision, maybe it's finally saying yes to something that challenges you. Whatever it is, take the step. Don't wait for confidence. Confidence is what happens after you act, not before. This is your life, not a rehearsal. And fear will rob every minute if you let it. But the moment you decide to confront it, that's when everything changes. You start walking different, talking different, thinking different. And suddenly, the things that used to scare you begin to look small. Not because they are, but because you've grown. You are capable of more. You are stronger than you think, and you don't have to stay where you've been, but you do have to fight, not with other people, with yourself, with the part of you that wants to stay safe instead of fulfilled, that wants to settle instead of rise. That's the fight, and it's one worth showing up for. There's no magic formula, just action. Face the fear, push through the discomfort, prove to yourself that you're not controlled by limits. That's how real power is built, not in theory, but in action, and the longer you wait, the more fear wins. Take your life back one bold decision at a time. Number 3, cut ties with toxic influences holding you back. Most people don't realize how much the people around them shape their lives. It's easy to think that your progress or failures depend only on what you do, but your environment plays a massive role in what you become. The truth is, some people in your life aren't helping you grow. They drain your energy, discourage your dreams, and keep you locked in the past. These influences aren't always obvious. Sometimes they disguise themselves as friends, family, or supporters, but if they bring negativity, doubt, or distraction, they're holding you back. The harsh reality is that if you want to change, you'll need to cut ties with those toxic influences, no matter how painful or complicated it feels. Toxic influences come in many forms. It could be people who gossip, complain, or constantly focus on what's wrong in life. They may criticize your ambitions or mock your efforts to improve. Their negativity is contagious, and before you know it, you find yourself second-guessing your worth. Sometimes these people don't even realize the harm they cause, but the damage is real. They consume your mental energy, they fill your head with doubt, and they keep you stuck in a loop of fear and frustration. It's easy to convince yourself that you have to tolerate this behavior because they are family or old friends. Maybe you feel guilty thinking about stepping away. Maybe you fear losing connection or being alone. But the fact is, you cannot grow in a toxic environment. You can't rebuild yourself surrounded by people who tell you you're not enough or who don't believe in your potential. If you want to become someone new, someone stronger, you have to be willing to change who you allow close to your life. The moment you recognize that certain relationships are harming your progress, you have a choice to make. You can keep the old ties and stay stuck, or you can cut them and move forward. It won't be easy. You'll face resistance from them and from within yourself. But remember, this is about your future, your peace, your ability to become better. And sometimes the people who loved you in the past won't understand your growth. That's okay. Your growth isn't about pleasing others, it's about honoring yourself. Cutting ties doesn't have to be dramatic or hostile. Sometimes it means simply creating distance. It means spending less time with those who drain you. It means saying no when they want to pull you back into old patterns. It means choosing conversations that uplift instead of ones that tear you down. You might still care for these people, but caring doesn't mean you sacrifice your own well-being. Setting boundaries is an act of respect for yourself and your journey. Toxic influences don't just hurt your mindset, they affect your habits and energy. When you spend time with people who complain or criticize, your motivation dwindles. You start to question your decisions. You feel exhausted, even when you haven't done much. That's not normal. That's not how life is supposed to feel. Healthy relationships encourage you to be your best self, even when you're struggling. They lift you up instead of pulling you down. Think about how many hours in your week are spent with people who leave you feeling drained or discouraged. What if you reclaimed that time for yourself? What if you invested it in relationships that fuel your growth? You can't afford to waste your limited time and energy on people who don't believe in your vision. The price is too high. Sometimes the hardest part is admitting that someone you love or trust is toxic. It's painful to see a relationship for what it really is, especially when memories and history are involved. But you have to be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, does this person support the person I want to become? Do they respect my dreams and goals? When I'm around them, do I feel hopeful or hopeless? If the answers are no, you owe it to yourself to change that dynamic. You're not alone in this struggle. Everyone faces toxic people at some point. But not everyone has the courage to take action. You do. You have the power to protect your energy, to choose who belongs in your inner circle, to surround yourself with those who inspire you, challenge you, and believe in your potential. That kind of support is priceless. It's the soil where new growth happens. Letting go of toxic influences isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It shows you value your growth more than your comfort. It shows you're willing to do what it takes to rebuild your life. You'll find that once you create space, you start attracting better energy. People who want to see you win. People who push you to be better. That's the environment you need to thrive. You'll notice a shift as soon as you make this decision. Your mind feels clearer. Your energy returns. You start making better choices because you aren't weighed down by constant negativity. You begin to believe in yourself more because you aren't hearing constant doubt. Your focus sharpens because your distractions lessen. Of course, cutting ties isn't always permanent. Sometimes people change, and sometimes relationships evolve in healthy ways. But it starts with your decision to protect your space and your progress. You don't owe anyone an explanation or a chance to convince you to stay stuck. Your life is your responsibility, and it's time to take control. Take a moment and think about the people in your life right now. Which relationships lift you? Which ones drain you? Which ones keep you tied to old versions of yourself? Be honest. This isn't about judgment, it's about clarity. Because clarity gives you power, and power gives you choice. Every new day is an opportunity to choose differently, to say no to toxicity and yes to growth. It might feel lonely at first. That's normal. But loneliness isn't the same as being alone. Solitude can be powerful. It's where you find yourself, where you rebuild, and where you start attracting the people who match your new energy. You deserve relationships that fuel your dreams, not fuel your doubts. You deserve to be surrounded by people who celebrate your progress and challenge you to keep going. Those relationships don't appear by accident. They come because you create space for them. By cutting ties with what no longer serves you, you clear the path for better things to come. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about taking back control of your life, one relationship at a time. You can't rebuild yourself while carrying toxic weights on your shoulders. So start shedding what drags you down. Protect your energy. Protect your heart. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose. Number 4, build new routines focused on growth and strength. Every day, most people go through the motions. Wake up, follow the same patterns, make the same choices, repeat what they did yesterday. The problem is, those routines, those habits are what keep them stuck in the same place. If you want to destroy the old you and rebuild yourself alone, changing your daily routines is not optional. It's essential. Real transformation happens through the small, consistent actions you take every day. It's not about giant leaps all at once. It's about what you do over and over again that creates new habits, new beliefs, and new strength. Routines are the foundation of your life. They shape your energy, your mindset, and your progress. When your routines support growth, everything shifts. Your mind becomes clearer. Your body feels stronger. Your confidence rises because you're proving to yourself daily that you are capable. But if your routines keep you in old patterns, staying up late, wasting time on distractions, ignoring your goals, then you stay stuck. Growth can't happen in the chaos of inconsistency. Building new routines starts with awareness. Notice how you spend your time now. What are the habits that pull you back? What are the actions that drain your energy or your willpower? Most people avoid this step because it's uncomfortable to see where they're falling short. But ignoring your habits doesn't make the problem disappear. It only lets the old you stay in charge. To rebuild yourself, you must become honest about what's working and what's not. Once you see the routines that no longer serve you, it's time to replace them. This is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about choosing actions that align with who you want to become. If you want to be stronger, then your routine must include habits that build strength, whether physical, mental, or emotional. That could mean starting your day with movement, reading something that challenges you, or setting time aside to plan your next step. The key is consistency. Growth happens when these small actions add up, day after day. Many people feel overwhelmed by the idea of changing routines. They think they need to overhaul everything at once. But that's a mistake. The best way to create lasting change is by starting small. Pick one habit that will make the biggest difference. Focus on that until it becomes natural. Then add another. Over time, those small changes create a powerful momentum. You don't have to change your entire life overnight. You just have to show up for yourself each day. Building routines also means protecting your time. There will always be distractions, excuses, and people pulling you off course. But if your routines are truly important, you'll guard that time like it's precious. Set boundaries. Create space for your growth. Say no to things that don't align with your goals. When you prioritize your routine, you're prioritizing your future self. One of the most important parts of building new routines is setting a rhythm that works for you. This is your life, not someone else's. If you're not a morning person, don't force yourself to wake up at 5 a.m. just because it sounds like a successful person's routine. Find the time of day when you feel most focused and energized and build your habits there. The more your routine fits your natural flow, the easier it will be to maintain. Your routine should challenge you. If every day feels easy, if you're not pushing yourself at all, you're probably not growing. Growth comes from doing things that stretch your limits. Maybe that means waking up earlier than usual, cutting back on distractions, or practicing self-control in small ways. It's uncomfortable at first. You'll resist. You might want to quit. But if you push through, that discomfort is where strength is born. As you build these new habits, don't forget to celebrate the progress. Growth isn't always visible day to day. Sometimes it's slow. But every time you stick to your routine, you're investing in yourself. Those small wins build confidence and create belief that you can do this. They remind you that change is possible. Another part of building routines focused on growth is paying attention to your body and mind. What do you need to feel strong? Maybe it's regular exercise, better sleep, or nourishing food. Maybe it's time to journal your thoughts or meditate to clear your mind. Your routine should support all parts of you, not just your goals. When you care for yourself fully, your energy and resilience increase naturally. Remember, building routines is about progress, not perfection. There will be days you miss, days you stumble, days you feel weak. That's normal. The difference is in what you do after those days. Do you give up, or do you get back on track? The old you might have quit. The new you keeps going no matter what. Because routines are the daily proof of your commitment to yourself. One more thing to keep in mind, your environment matters for your routines. Make your surroundings support your new habits. Clear the clutter that distracts you. Place reminders of your goals where you see them every day. Make it easy for yourself to choose growth over comfort. The less resistance you create, the more natural your routine becomes. Building new routines is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong process. As you grow, your routines will change. You'll add new habits, drop old ones, and refine your schedule. That's a sign of progress, not failure. Stay flexible, but stay committed. The routines you build today lay the groundwork for the person you become tomorrow. Imagine your life a year from now. Imagine the strength you will have built by showing up every day for yourself. The confidence that comes from knowing you are in control of your habits. The peace of mind that comes from consistent effort and progress. That future is real, but only if you take action now. Build routines that serve growth and strength. Protect them. Respect them. Let them shape the new you. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. You can fall back into old habits that keep you stuck, or you can do something different. It might be hard at first. It might feel strange. But with every day you choose growth, you are one step closer to the person you want to become. The old you is behind you. The new you is waiting, ready to be built one habit at a time. Number 5. Commit to self-discipline even when it feels lonely. Life doesn't hand out success freely. It doesn't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect crowd to cheer you on. Most times, the journey to becoming a better version of yourself is quiet, hard, and lonely. That's a tough pill to swallow. Many people want change, but when they realize it means standing alone, pushing through discomfort without applause, they lose heart. The truth is, self-discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. And it often requires you to do things on your own, without immediate reward, without constant support. Committing to self-discipline means you have to be your own coach, your own motivator, your own anchor. The loneliness that comes with discipline isn't a flaw in your journey, it's a sign you're growing. It means you're stepping out of the crowd that stays stuck in comfort and taking responsibility for your life. Most people shy away from this kind of responsibility because it's uncomfortable. It means sacrificing instant gratification for long-term results. It means saying no to distractions and yes to hard work. But without that commitment, rebuilding yourself is impossible. Self-discipline isn't about being perfect or never failing. It's about consistency and showing up even when you don't feel like it. When motivation fades, discipline keeps you moving. It's what gets you out of bed early to work on your goals, even when your bed feels warm and safe. It's what helps you say no to temptations that pull you off course, even when those temptations look easy or fun. Self-discipline means choosing what you want most over what you want now. It's important to understand that self-discipline builds strength over time. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes. At first, it feels like a heavy burden. Your mind fights against new habits because they challenge your comfort zone. Your body protests because it's used to old patterns. But as you push through, you create new neural pathways in your brain. You train yourself to resist distractions and focus on what matters. That mental muscle grows stronger with every decision you make to stay disciplined. Loneliness during this process is not permanent. It's a phase. It's a test. The people who understand and support your journey may be few at first. You might feel isolated because the changes you're making set you apart. Your old social circles might not understand your new priorities. They might even try to pull you back to old habits. That's why self-discipline is crucial. It keeps you steady when external support is weak or missing. This is also the time to build your internal motivation. External encouragement is helpful but often unreliable. When you rely only on others, your progress depends on their availability and mood. Self-discipline means developing an inner voice that pushes you forward. That voice reminds you why you started. It recalls the vision of the new you. It holds you accountable when no one else is watching. This inner strength is what lasts a lifetime. Many people confuse self-discipline with punishment. They think it means denying themselves all joy or living in a constant state of struggle. That's not true. Discipline is about balance. It's about creating boundaries that protect your growth while still allowing moments of rest and reward. Without discipline, you waste energy on distractions and regrets. With discipline, you direct that energy toward building the life you want. That makes every effort meaningful. One of the biggest challenges in committing to self-discipline is dealing with setbacks. You will face days when you slip, when your old habits creep back, when your willpower falters. Those moments are part of the journey. They don't erase your progress. What matters is how you respond. Do you let one mistake become an excuse to quit? Or do you get back on track and keep going? The new you doesn't quit because the path is tough. The new you knows that discipline is tested in those moments. It helps to create structure around your self-discipline. Make a clear plan for what you want to achieve each day. Break big goals into small, manageable tasks. When you see progress, no matter how small, it fuels your commitment. Accountability tools like journals, apps, or check-ins with yourself keep your focus sharp. Structure gives you a framework to operate within so that discipline doesn't feel like a random act, but a steady practice. Understand that discipline builds confidence. Every time you push through resistance, you prove to yourself that you can overcome challenges. This builds self-trust, the belief that you are capable and reliable. Self-trust is the foundation for bigger risks and bigger growth. Without discipline, confidence remains fragile because it depends on external validation. With discipline, confidence is unshakable because it comes from within. There's also a deep emotional reward in mastering self-discipline. You gain control over your life. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstances and start becoming the creator of your destiny. That feeling of control brings peace even in hard times. It replaces frustration with purpose. It quiets the noise of doubt and fear, and that peace strengthens your resolve. The moment you decide to commit to self-discipline, you make a promise to yourself. You promise to prioritize your goals, your growth, and your well-being. You accept that the path may be lonely at times, but that loneliness is temporary and necessary. You accept the responsibility of being your own guide and champion. This promise is powerful. It changes the way you see yourself and your future. You don't have to wait for the perfect conditions to start this commitment. There will never be a moment without challenges or distractions. Waiting only delays your transformation. Start now by choosing one area of your life where you can practice discipline. It might be waking up earlier, focusing on your work without interruptions, or saying no to habits that harm you. That small step is the foundation for everything else. When the loneliness creeps in, remember why you began. Remember the person you are becoming. Feel the strength growing inside you with every disciplined choice. Remind yourself that this is your journey, and you are strong enough to walk it alone if you must. The people and support will come as you grow, but the core of your success lies in your commitment to yourself. You will never regret the days you chose discipline over ease. You will never regret building a life on your own terms. The new you is waiting, stronger, wiser, more focused, and that new version demands your discipline today. This isn't just about changing habits. It's about becoming the person who can build a better life, no matter the circumstances. Each moment you choose discipline, you're shaping your future. Each step forward is proof that you are stronger than your excuses, more determined than your doubts. The lonely road is not a punishment, it's a passage to freedom, and through it, you become the architect of your own destiny, the master of your life, the person you were meant to be. Number 6. Set clear goals to guide your transformation journey. Most people drift through life without a clear destination. They wake up, face the day, and react to whatever comes their way. The problem isn't just that they don't know where they want to go, it's that they haven't taken the time to decide. Without clear goals, it's easy to get lost, frustrated, and stuck in the same patterns that no longer serve you. To rebuild yourself alone and truly transform, setting clear goals is absolutely necessary. Goals act like a compass. They give your efforts direction and purpose. Without that, even your hardest work can feel wasted. The first reality check is this: goals must be real and specific. Saying, "I want to be better" or "I want to change" is too vague. Those ideas don't push you to act because they don't define what success looks like. Clear goals describe exactly what you want and when you want it. For example, instead of "get healthy," a clear goal would be exercise 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week for the next 3 months. When your goal is concrete, it creates a clear target to aim at. Your mind can focus and your actions become more purposeful. Setting clear goals requires honesty. Ask yourself what you truly want and what matters most to you. Not what others expect or what looks good on paper, but what lights a fire inside you. When your goals connect to your deepest values, motivation comes easier. You're not chasing someone else's dream, you're building your own. This honesty also means facing your weaknesses and limitations head-on. If a goal feels too big right now, break it down into smaller parts that are manageable. Clear goals are realistic and challenging, but not so far out of reach that they crush your spirit. A major part of setting clear goals is defining the steps to get there. A goal without a plan is just a wish. You must identify what you need to learn, the habits to build, and the obstacles to overcome. This roadmap prevents confusion and makes the journey less overwhelming. When you have a plan, you know what to focus on each day. Progress becomes visible and every action feels meaningful. Most people underestimate how important deadlines are. A goal without a timeline will likely never get done. Deadlines create urgency and keep you accountable. They force you to prioritize your time and energy because the clock is ticking. When you set a date to achieve something, your brain shifts from thinking about doing it someday to making it happen now. Without deadlines, it's easy to procrastinate and lose momentum. It's also crucial to write your goals down. Writing makes your intentions tangible. It moves your goals from vague thoughts into real commitments. When goals live on paper or on a screen, you can review them daily. This repetition reminds your mind of what you're working toward and why it matters. It also helps you adjust your approach when you face setbacks or new opportunities. The act of writing creates a deeper connection to your goals. Setting clear goals is not a one-time event, it's a process. Life changes, circumstances shift, and your understanding of yourself evolves. Your goals should evolve too. Regularly reviewing and updating your goals keeps them relevant and aligned with who you are becoming. It also prevents you from wasting energy on outdated ambitions that no longer inspire you. This flexibility doesn't mean giving up. It means growing smarter about your direction. Another important aspect is to set goals in different areas of your life. Transformation is not just about one part, like your career or fitness. It's about creating balance and strength in multiple areas: mental, physical, emotional, and relational. Clear goals across these domains help you become a well-rounded person. Ignoring one area can create weaknesses that slow your overall progress. Clear goals also provide a framework for decision-making. When faced with choices, big or small, you can ask yourself, does this move me closer to my goal? If the answer is yes, you say yes. If not, you learn to say no without guilt. This clarity reduces distractions and keeps your focus sharp. It's a powerful filter that protects your time and energy. The emotional power of clear goals should not be underestimated. Goals give you hope and excitement. They create a vision of a better future that your mind can hold on to during difficult times. When setbacks happen, and they will, your goals remind you why you started. They rekindle your passion and keep your spirit alive. Without clear goals, it's easy to lose hope and give up. You also develop a sense of pride as you reach milestones. Every small win on the way to a clear goal is proof that you are capable. Those moments build confidence and inspire you to push further. Your goals become a source of motivation, not pressure. They show you what's possible when you commit. The hardest part about setting clear goals is starting. It takes courage to face where you are honestly and admit you want more. It means stepping out of your comfort zone and embracing uncertainty. But that first step is the most important. It moves you from wishing to doing, from stuck to moving forward. In setting your goals, surround yourself with reminders. Visual cues like vision boards, notes, or alarms can reinforce your commitment daily. These small prompts keep your goals top of mind and help you stay consistent. The more you immerse yourself in your vision, the stronger your resolve becomes. Clear goals also help you build patience. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and persistence. When your goals are clear, you understand the journey is a marathon, not a sprint. You learn to appreciate the process and trust that every step counts. When your goals are clear, your energy is directed, your mind is focused, and your heart is committed. You don't wander through life waiting for change. You create it intentionally. You become the driver of your own transformation. This clarity turns confusion into confidence. It turns hesitation into action. It turns old patterns into new habits. Clear goals guide you through the hard moments and celebrate with you in the victories. They become the blueprint for your new life. Every moment you live without clear goals is a moment spent in uncertainty. Every day you spend wandering is a day lost in doubt. Setting clear goals changes that. It lights the path forward. It gives you a sense of control and hope. It builds the new you, step by step, with purpose and power. Number 7. Embrace solitude to discover your true inner power. Many people fear being alone. The silence and stillness can feel uncomfortable, even painful. But the truth is, solitude isn't about loneliness or emptiness. It's about finding yourself beneath all the noise, distractions, and opinions that cloud your mind every day. Most never take the time to truly be with themselves because it's easier to stay busy, distracted, or surrounded by others. Yet, without embracing solitude, real transformation is impossible. To rebuild yourself alone, you must first learn to stand comfortably in your own presence. The reality is, most people run from their own thoughts. They avoid the quiet because it exposes their fears, doubts, and insecurities. When you sit quietly with yourself, those feelings will surface, and it's tempting to push them away or fill the space with something else. But that discomfort is necessary. It is the doorway to self-awareness and inner strength. When you face yourself without distractions, you see who you really are, flaws, strengths, and all. True power comes from within, not from outside approval or validation. Solitude allows you to connect with that power. In the stillness, you can hear your true desires, separate from what others expect or want for you. You begin to understand your values, your passions, and what drives you at the core. This clarity helps you make decisions that align with your authentic self, rather than reacting to external pressures. Spending time alone also reveals your patterns, the habits and thoughts that hold you back. Without the distractions of daily noise, you notice where your mind goes, what you worry about, and how you talk to yourself. This awareness is the first step toward change. You can choose to break free from negative cycles only after you recognize them. Solitude is like a mirror, reflecting your inner world honestly and without judgment. Many avoid solitude because it feels like loneliness. But solitude is different. Loneliness means feeling isolated, disconnected from others in a painful way. Solitude is a choice, a chance to recharge, reflect, and reconnect with your inner self. It's a time to be your own best friend, to treat yourself with kindness and patience. In solitude, you learn to enjoy your own company, to listen to your own voice, and to build a relationship with yourself that is strong and supportive. The process of embracing solitude is not easy. It requires courage to sit with yourself when there's no one else around. You might feel restless or bored at first. You may confront uncomfortable truths or painful memories. But every moment spent alone is an opportunity to grow stronger. The more you practice solitude, the easier it becomes. Over time, the silence feels less like an enemy and more like a sanctuary. When you embrace solitude, you develop resilience. You learn to depend less on others for your happiness and more on your own strength. This independence builds confidence because you realize you can face challenges without needing constant support. You become grounded in yourself, able to stand tall even when the world around you is uncertain or difficult. Solitude also sparks creativity and clarity. Away from distractions, your mind can wander freely and find new solutions to problems. Many breakthroughs happen in moments of quiet reflection. When you give yourself space to think deeply, you discover new ideas and insights that were buried beneath daily chaos. This creative power fuels your transformation and helps you build a better version of yourself. It's important to create intentional time for solitude. This might mean waking up earlier to sit quietly before the day starts, or setting aside moments in the evening to reflect. It could be a walk alone in nature, or a simple break without your phone or other distractions. These small acts of solitude become sacred rituals that reconnect you to your inner power and keep you centered. In solitude, you also learn to manage your emotions better. Without the noise of the outside world, you can observe your feelings without being overwhelmed by them. This distance gives you control rather than letting emotions control you. You become calm in the storm, able to respond wisely instead of reacting impulsively. Some fear solitude because they think it means being weak or vulnerable. The opposite is true. It takes strength to face yourself honestly and to sit quietly with your thoughts. It takes bravery to look inside and accept all parts of yourself. This kind of courage is the foundation of true transformation. The stronger your relationship with yourself, the more you can rebuild your life in a way that lasts. The power discovered in solitude helps you set better boundaries. When you know your worth and understand your needs, you're less likely to allow toxic people or negative influences into your life. Solitude sharpens your awareness about what serves you and what doesn't. It guides you in choosing who and what to invite into your personal space, protecting your energy and growth. Solitude is also the place where self-discipline is born. Without others around, you become responsible for your own actions and decisions. This accountability to yourself is critical in rebuilding your life. When you trust yourself enough to follow through on your goals alone, you step into a new level of personal power. Being comfortable alone changes your relationship with the world. You don't need constant entertainment, validation, or approval to feel whole. You become a person who creates your own happiness, not one who chases it in external things. This freedom is liberating. It allows you to live with integrity and purpose, aligned with your true self. Many who embrace solitude find their self-esteem grows naturally. They no longer compare themselves to others or measure their worth by external standards. They learn to appreciate their unique qualities and talents. This appreciation creates a deep sense of pride and satisfaction that others cannot give or take away. Solitude also teaches patience. Change takes time, and transformation is a slow process. When you spend time alone, you learn to sit with the discomfort of growth without rushing or quitting. This patience helps you stay committed even when progress feels invisible. The silence of solitude often reveals spiritual insights as well. You might feel connected to something greater than yourself, a purpose, a higher power, or the universe. This connection provides strength beyond your own abilities. It reminds you that you are not alone in your journey, even when you are physically by yourself. In a world that constantly demands attention and connection, choosing solitude is a radical act of self-respect. It signals that you value your inner life and your growth above temporary distractions. This choice builds a foundation that supports everything else in your transformation. Embracing solitude means you can face any challenge with calm and clarity. You become your own anchor, steady in storms and unwavering in your goals. This inner power is the true source of freedom and confidence. It allows you to rebuild yourself not based on others' expectations, but on your own strength and vision. Spending time alone gives you a clear picture of who you want to become. It strips away false identities and reveals your genuine self. This discovery fuels every decision you make as you move forward. Solitude is not just a stage in your transformation, it is a lifelong companion. The deeper your relationship with yourself, the more fully you can live, love, and lead. It's where your most authentic power lives, waiting for you to embrace it without fear or hesitation. Number 8. Replace negative self-talk with empowering daily affirmations. A lot of people don't realize how much they hurt themselves every single day with the way they talk inside their own heads. The words you say to yourself matter more than anyone else's words because they shape how you see your world and yourself. Negative self-talk is like an invisible weight dragging you down, often without you even noticing. It sneaks in quietly and starts telling you you're not good enough, not smart enough, not worthy of success or happiness. When those thoughts pile up, they become loud enough to drown out hope and motivation. The reality is, most people fall into this trap without meaning to. It's a habit formed from years of doubt, criticism, and fear. The mind can get stuck in a loop where it only focuses on mistakes and failures, never celebrating progress or strengths. This constant negativity rewires the brain to expect the worst, which makes it nearly impossible to break free and rebuild yourself. To truly transform, this cycle must be interrupted and replaced with something better. Replacing negative self-talk with positive affirmations is not about pretending everything is perfect or ignoring real challenges. It's about shifting the story you tell yourself toward encouragement and possibility. When you speak to yourself with kindness and belief, you begin to change the way you feel and act. Affirmations are simple, clear statements that reflect the person you want to become and the life you want to build. At first, changing the voice inside your head feels strange because negativity is so familiar. But every time you catch a negative thought, you have a choice. You can let it stay, or you can challenge it with a positive statement. For example, when your mind says, "I can't do this," replace it with, "I am capable and learning every day." When it whispers, "I'm not enough," tell yourself, "I have value and I deserve success." These affirmations aren't empty words. They are tools to retrain your brain to focus on strength instead of weakness. Consistency is the key to making affirmations work. Saying them once won't change much, but repeating them daily, especially in the morning or before bed, builds new habits of thought. Over time, these positive messages become automatic, taking the place of old, damaging beliefs. This process rewires your brain's patterns so that you start believing in yourself more naturally. Empowering affirmations also affect your emotions. When you talk to yourself with encouragement, you invite feelings of hope, confidence, and peace. You create an inner environment where growth and change can thrive. This emotional shift energizes you to take action toward your goals because you believe you can succeed. One of the biggest benefits of affirmations is that they help you build resilience. Life will always throw challenges your way, but when you have a positive inner voice, you respond differently. Instead of collapsing under pressure or giving up, you remind yourself that difficulties are part of the process and that you have the strength to overcome them. This mental toughness is essential for rebuilding yourself alone. It's also important that your affirmations are realistic and personal. They should reflect your true values and the version of yourself you want to become, not some ideal that feels impossible to reach. When affirmations feel genuine, they are more powerful because your mind accepts them as truth. For instance, instead of saying, "I am perfect," try, "I am growing and improving every day." This keeps you grounded and honest while fostering progress. The words you choose matter too. Use clear, present tense language like "I am," "I can," and "I will." Avoid future promises like "I will be," because your brain responds better to what feels immediate and real. Say affirmations out loud or write them down to reinforce their impact. Seeing and hearing your positive words strengthens the connection in your mind. Replacing negative self-talk isn't just about the words themselves. It's about becoming aware of when you are slipping into old patterns. Self-awareness is the foundation of change. Catching your thoughts as they happen gives you the power to interrupt negativity before it controls your feelings and actions. This takes practice and patience, but it's worth it because it puts you in charge of your mental landscape. Many people resist positive affirmations because they think it's silly or ineffective. They might say, "That won't change anything," or "I don't believe that about myself." These doubts are normal, especially if your inner critic has been loud for a long time. But the science behind affirmations shows that repeated positive self-talk can reshape neural pathways and boost confidence. You don't have to believe the words fully at first. Just keep speaking them anyway, and belief will grow. Affirmations also create a foundation for gratitude. When you acknowledge your strengths and potential daily, you start to notice more good things in your life. This gratitude fuels motivation and joy. It makes the journey of rebuilding yourself less about struggle and more about appreciation and growth. When you replace negativity with empowering affirmations, you change your relationship with failure. Instead of seeing mistakes as proof of inadequacy, you see them as learning opportunities. Your inner voice shifts from punishment to encouragement, reminding you that setbacks don't define you. This perspective keeps you moving forward rather than stuck in self-doubt. It's important to pair affirmations with action. Positive words without effort are empty. Use affirmations to build your mindset, then back them up by doing the work needed to grow. This combination creates unstoppable momentum because your thoughts and behaviors align toward your goals. Some people write their affirmations on sticky notes and place them where they'll see them often, on mirrors, desks, or phones. Others use apps or voice recordings. Find a method that fits your lifestyle and make it a daily habit. This regular practice reinforces new beliefs and makes them part of your identity. Replacing negative self-talk also improves your relationships. When you speak kindly to yourself, you become more compassionate and patient with others. You stop seeking validation because you already provide it internally. This shift creates healthier connections and less dependence on approval from outside. The process of changing your inner dialogue takes time. It's normal to have days when negative thoughts return. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're human. The key is to keep returning to your affirmations, to keep choosing positivity even when it feels hard. This persistence builds mental strength and rewires your thinking. Ultimately, the way you talk to yourself shapes your reality. Negative self-talk limits your potential and keeps you trapped in old patterns. Empowering affirmations open the door to growth, confidence, and transformation. They remind you that you are worthy, capable, and deserving of a better life. Replacing your negative inner voice with positive affirmations is one of the most powerful things you can do when rebuilding yourself alone. It's the foundation for a new mindset that supports your journey forward. Every day you speak words of encouragement, you take a step closer to becoming the person you truly want to be. Number 9. Focus on small wins that rebuild your confidence. Life can often feel overwhelming. When trying to change, especially when rebuilding yourself alone, the mountain of work ahead seems massive. The old you didn't just vanish overnight, and the new you doesn't arrive in a single leap. One of the biggest traps people fall into is looking only at the big picture, the ultimate goal, and feeling defeated because they aren't there yet. That feeling of being stuck or falling short kills motivation faster than almost anything else. But here's the truth: transformation happens one small step at a time. The small wins are what rebuild confidence piece by piece. Every big success you see out there started with tiny victories nobody else noticed. Those moments don't feel earth-shattering, but they matter more than you realize. When you focus on small wins, you create proof that change is possible. You give yourself evidence that progress is happening. This evidence fuels your belief that you can keep going. Without it, your mind stays stuck in doubt and fear. Small wins are the building blocks of trust in yourself. The problem is, many people overlook these small successes because they seem insignificant compared to the bigger goal. They ignore progress and only focus on how far they still have to go. This mindset is dangerous. It's like trying to fill a bucket by staring at the empty space instead of noticing every drop you add. You need to learn to celebrate those drops, the small actions, the tiny improvements, the moments when you resisted old habits or made a better choice. Small wins can look different for everyone. It could be waking up on time instead of hitting snooze. It might be choosing a healthy meal instead of junk food. Maybe it's reading a few pages of a book that inspires growth or spending 5 extra minutes planning your day. These might not seem like much, but they are victories against the old you. Each one is a choice to build a stronger foundation. When you focus on small wins, you start to feel the momentum. You begin to see yourself differently, not as someone who is stuck or broken, but as someone who is capable and moving forward. That shift in self-perception is powerful. It changes how you approach challenges and keeps you motivated even when things get tough. Confidence doesn't come from one big success. It's the sum of many small wins that show you can handle difficulties and keep making progress. Every small victory rewires your brain to expect success instead of failure. It trains your mind to notice what's going right rather than only what's wrong. This positive focus becomes a powerful fuel for change. Tracking your small wins can help you stay focused and motivated. Write down what you achieve each day, no matter how small it feels. Seeing a list of accomplishments builds pride and reminds you that your efforts add up. It's easy to forget progress when you don't acknowledge it. Recording your wins creates a visual proof that you're on the right path. Another reason focusing on small wins works is that it makes goals manageable. When the future looks too big, it's normal to freeze or procrastinate. But when you break your transformation down into small, achievable steps, it feels less intimidating. It's easier to take action when you know exactly what you need to do right now. Small wins make the journey less overwhelming and more doable. Small wins also boost your emotional resilience. Every time you succeed in something, your brain releases chemicals that make you feel good, like a reward for effort. These feelings of satisfaction and pride help fight stress and discouragement. They remind you that change isn't just about struggle, it's also about growth and joy. This emotional reinforcement keeps you coming back for more progress. One thing to watch out for is impatience. Change takes time. It's easy to get frustrated when you don't see quick results. But focusing on small wins teaches patience. You learn to appreciate the process instead of rushing to the finish line. This patience is essential because real transformation is a marathon, not a sprint. Every small victory keeps you moving forward with steady determination. Sometimes, small wins come from overcoming internal battles rather than external achievements. Resisting a negative thought, standing firm against self-doubt, or choosing to believe in yourself despite fear. These are wins that don't show up on a checklist but are just as important. They strengthen your mindset and emotional core, giving you the inner power to face bigger challenges ahead. Sharing your small wins with someone who supports you can make them even more meaningful. When you talk about your progress, you reinforce your achievements. Supportive feedback builds confidence and helps you stay accountable. Even if you're rebuilding alone, find ways to celebrate victories, whether by journaling, self-reflecting, or connecting with someone who encourages you. Small wins also build habits. Repeating tiny positive actions every day forms routines that support your transformation. Habits reduce the need for willpower because the actions become automatic. This automation makes it easier to keep improving without constant struggle. The more you stack these small wins, the stronger and more natural your new lifestyle becomes. It's important to define what a win means for you personally. Don't compare your progress to others or to some ideal standard. Your wins should reflect your unique journey and circumstances. What matters is that you are making positive changes that bring you closer to who you want to be. Respect your pace and your story. Focus on the process rather than just the outcome. The act of showing up, doing the work, and making better choices is itself a success. When you recognize that, every small win becomes a step toward rebuilding confidence and transforming your life. This mindset reduces pressure and helps you enjoy growth rather than fearing failure. Many people give up because they expect instant transformation and don't see it happen. They get discouraged by setbacks or slow progress. Focusing on small wins shifts your attention away from perfection towards steady improvement. It reminds you that success isn't about never failing, it's about keeping going despite challenges. Every small win is proof that you have control. It's a reminder that your efforts matter and that you are shaping your future. These victories build a sense of ownership over your life. They show that change isn't something that happens to you, it's something you create. In the end, rebuilding yourself alone requires patience, effort, and belief. Small wins are the evidence that you're capable of making this journey. Each one adds strength to your confidence and resilience. When you focus on these wins, you build a foundation that supports lasting transformation. The bigger goals remain in sight, but your confidence grows because you're proving to yourself every day that you can take the next right step. This focus on small wins makes the process manageable, encouraging, and meaningful. It teaches that rebuilding isn't about giant leaps, but about consistent small victories that accumulate into lasting change. The new you rises from these wins, stronger and more confident with every choice you make. Number 10. Trust yourself to create a stronger, better future. There's a hard truth most people struggle with. Deep down, many don't trust themselves enough. When facing change, doubt creeps in, and the voice inside questions every move. It's a quiet but powerful enemy. If that voice wins, it keeps you stuck where you are, never daring to step into something new or better. Trusting yourself isn't just a feel-good idea, it's the foundation for rebuilding your life and creating a future that's stronger and better than anything in your past. Without that trust, your journey stops before it even begins. Looking at your past, you might see mistakes, failures, times you didn't follow through, or moments you gave up. Those memories feel heavy and sometimes define how you view yourself. But here's the reality you have to accept. Those past moments don't have to control your future. Every person who has built a new life started with that same uncertainty and doubt. What set them apart was their choice to believe in themselves despite the fear and the failures. Trusting yourself is not about being perfect. It's about knowing you will keep trying, keep learning, and keep moving forward no matter what happens. It's about understanding that setbacks don't mean you are incapable, they are just part of the process. This kind of trust comes from experience, but it also comes from a decision you make right now. You decide to treat yourself as someone worth believing in, someone capable of change and growth. Many don't trust themselves because they feel they lack control. Life's unpredictability makes it easy to think that external forces decide what happens. But trusting yourself means owning your power to influence your life. It means recognizing that your choices, actions, and mindset shape your reality more than circumstances. This shift from victim to creator is a game changer. Building this trust requires honest reflection. You need to look at your strengths and acknowledge them, no matter how small they seem. Maybe you have endured tough situations before and survived. Maybe you have qualities like patience, resilience, or creativity that you've overlooked. These are proof that you have what it takes to build something better. When you name these strengths, you start to build a foundation of trust in yourself. You also have to accept your weaknesses and mistakes without judgment. Trust doesn't mean ignoring where you fall short. Instead, it means treating yourself with kindness and understanding while committing to improve. Everyone has weaknesses. The difference is how you respond to them. Trust grows when you face your flaws honestly, but don't let them stop you. This process of trusting yourself requires patience. It won't happen overnight. You will have days when doubt tries to take over. The key is to notice those moments and remind yourself why you deserve trust. Speak to yourself with the same encouragement you would give a good friend. This self-support keeps trust alive, even when the path is difficult. Actions build trust better than words. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you strengthen your belief in your own reliability. If you commit to waking up earlier, exercising, or studying, and you do it, you are proving that you can be counted on. These moments of integrity build trust faster than any pep talk. Trust also grows from learning. When you face new challenges and push through, you gain skills and knowledge. These experiences show you that you can handle uncertainty and adapt. Each success, failure, and lesson is evidence that you are capable. This ongoing growth forms a solid base of self-trust. It's easy to get stuck in a cycle of self-doubt when comparing yourself to others. You might see people who appear more confident or successful and wonder why you don't feel that way. Remember, trust is an inside job. It's built quietly, step by step, by showing up for yourself consistently. You don't need to be perfect or ahead of anyone else. Your journey is yours alone. Surrounding yourself with supportive people can help, but ultimately trust is what you hold inside. Other people's opinions don't create trust. They can only reflect what's already within you. This means the most important relationship you have is with yourself. Developing that relationship through respect and belief is the key to a stronger future. Trusting yourself also means taking responsibility for your life. It means no longer blaming circumstances or waiting for permission to change. You recognize that you are the one who must make decisions and take actions. This ownership is empowering and frees you from feeling powerless. When you take responsibility, you reclaim your ability to build the future you want. Fear will always be present. It's part of the human experience. Trust doesn't erase fear, but gives you the courage to act, despite it. When you trust yourself, fear loses its grip. You become willing to face uncertainty because you know you have the strength to handle whatever comes. Visualize the future you want. Imagine the person you are becoming, the confident, resilient individual who makes choices aligned with your goals. Trust is the bridge between who you are now and who you want to be. The stronger your trust, the easier it is to cross that bridge. Every decision you make today shapes that future. Trust in yourself to choose wisely, to learn from mistakes, and to keep moving forward. This trust gives you the power to create a life that reflects your true potential. Building trust in yourself is one of the most important steps in destroying the old you and rebuilding alone. It's not a destination, but a continuous process of belief, action, and growth. The more you invest in this trust, the more it grows, supporting every step of your transformation. You have the power right now to start trusting yourself more. Reflect on what you have overcome, acknowledge your strengths, commit to showing up for yourself, and take responsibility for your future. These choices rebuild your confidence and create a foundation that nothing can shake. This trust is your compass through uncertainty, your shield against doubt, and your fuel for growth. As you nurture it, you will find yourself becoming stronger, more capable, and ready to build the future you deserve.